Well, good Sunday morning to you. I've been thinking a lot about now that the holidays are over, and I still see people walking around like they're zombies, and I'm one of them. I'm thinking, it's a lot more challenging to live conscious than it is to be unconscious, and by which I mean sort of tuned out, which sort of you have a pattern. You know what I'm going to make my tea this morning, or it's going to be coffee, and you kind of know what you're going to do, but you're not quite present. It's that state like, well, you're awake, but you're not really awake. And some of us know when we're not really awake and we don't get behind the wheel of a car. And some of us have to get up and, drive the kids to a school or somebody to work or themselves to yourself to work. And it's a lot more rewarding to be awake, to be present. And it's not that easy because sometimes we're going through a big challenge. Might be a physical challenge, might be something in our relationship. I have a friend who looks like she's going to be going through a divorce. She's not happy about it. And she was very surprised by it, which is even worse. Nobody I don't know who likes surprises, but you certainly don't want surprises that are going to change the direction of your life without warning. It's really nice to know, like, oh, I see. It's like when a boss gives you 2 weeks notice. That's better than like, hey, pack up and get out of here. But there are always going to be challenges in life, and I don't think it's hard. I read somewhere somebody was saying, "Oh, it's hard. It's hard to be an adult. It's hard to grow up. It's hard to take care of yourself." It's hard. No. It's part of life. It's part of life. You're not like a doe. You're not a baby doe, and you're not going to follow your mom around until you're not a baby doe anymore. We're humans, and we have these abilities. I have, opposable thumb. You know what I mean? So if we look at it as hard, damn it, it's hard. I am not going to say that my life has been a bowl of cherries. Why do we use that expression? Like, cherries have pits in them. Cherries have pits in them. They always think that out. Like, cherries are a wonderful thing. Now, maybe strawberries or blueberries, but cherries have pits in them. So you have to chew around, you have to cut them open. Anyway, enough about cherries. Yeah. And everybody knows I'm 84. Next year, well, no, I think it's less than a year. In 8 months, I'm going to be 85. I'll tell you something. Every single day, I look around and I think, this is a miracle. This is just a goddamn miracle because listen, I was born into a war. I was born, there was war. In fact, I have never lived my life. Well, I have lived my life. I have always lived my life. Always lived my life with war going on. The United States was at war. The world was at war when I was born. Then the United States, 6 months after I was born, was at war. Then when I was, then we thought, oh, this is a wonderful peacetime. In fact, my earliest memories are my aunts and my mother literally dancing in the street when the war was declared over. Literally. And they were not frivolous. My mother was not frivolous. My aunts they were teenagers. So yeah, and then there was this glorious time, I guess. I don't know. I'm like 6 or 7 years old, but everybody seemed really happy. Everybody was happy for about 5 or 6 or 7 years, and then there was a war in Korea. And please, I have no idea whether the United States was involved in a civil war between the North Korea and South Korea. It was always about democracy. Always. Big wink. By the way, I don't have any eye makeup on because I had an eye infection. And it's been very, very difficult for me to face the fact that I'm not wearing any eye makeup. Because again, I was born at a time, but by the time I was in my late teens, everybody wore eye makeup. And I really never got over the habit. I guess I'm going to have to get over it now unless I want to get another eye infection. So I'm thinking that examples of, I have a very intelligent friend, and he's always like, almost literally walking into walls because he's just tuned out. Now, I understand that people are tuned out because they're overwhelmed or because they're in a lot of pain. Sometimes it's unresolved pain. Sometimes it's like pain from, the war. You were a kid during the war and your father died or your uncle got killed or your whole family, I want to say, things happen that are not in our best. That doesn't make us feel good. We have to also remember that a lot of things have a larger appearance of dread than they are in reality. For instance, when you're waiting for your test results from a medical exam, is that a lovely time of your life? That's a good time to tune out. And then you get the results, and the results are You're not perfect, but you ain't going to die anytime soon. That's the good news. And if you're able to watch this right now, and you were having like I don't know what kind of day I'm going to have. I had a hard time, or you're using a cane, or you're not physically where you'd like to be. You're still breathing. You're still breathing. I'm still breathing. And I am of an age of, honestly, the other day I had indigestion and I had to think, is this a symptom that I'm having a heart attack? Do you think I thought about that when I was 22 or 24 or 34 or 44 and had, a sharp pain? So then I had to look, what are the other symptoms? Well, I know there are other symptoms, sweatiness. And here's your other symptoms, okay? If you have indigestion and you're also dizzy, nauseous, sweaty, and you have other kinds of pains, it's not indigestion. Go instantly to an emergency ward wherever you are, or call a friend to help you. No, what I knew from this, and also it helped to know that I was belching. I went, oops, okay. I just said, okay, I know what this is. And that was really nice. But again, nobody lives forever. And a lot of the people that think they're going to live forever seem to be billionaires. And I'm not going to do a rant about billionaires this morning, but I do believe that there should be laws against hoarding that harm the public interest. I'll let you have that thought.